What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Sports TV, and I am back with another video. The rundown: who is the number one pound for pound guy in the sport of boxing? Is it Canelo Alvarez? Is it Terence Crawford? Or is it Vasiliy Lomachenko? I'm gonna discuss that, and my answer may surprise you because I have been stating for the longest that Terence Crawford is my number one pound for pound guy. But I've been thinking, and I may be ready to switch that. Before I get further into this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on to be notified every time I upload content. Back to the video. All right, we had three magnificent fighters, three superstar fighters. Vasiliy Lomachenko, 13-1, 10 knockouts. He is on a epic win streak since suffering his one and only career defeat in his second professional fight against experienced champion Orlando Salido. He lost that fight via a split decision. There was a lot of circumstances surrounding that loss for Lomachenko. The weight gain, he was pretty much fighting a welterweight. The night of the fight, I believe Salido didn't make weight, but Lomachenko, being the guy that he is, still went through with the fight and came on late in that fight and ended up hurting Salido. But past that, he has the names of Gary Russell Jr. Bounced back in his third fight of his professional career, won a majority decision. And then he got Roman Martinez, Nicholas Walters, Jason Sosa, Miguel Mariaga, a respectable contender, Guillermo Rigondeaux, Jorge Linares, Jose Pedraza, and Anthony Crolla. So you look at that resume, and that is a good resume. He has been dominant in each and every one of his fights. People don't like him, which is fine, but you have to respect the skill set, the way he goes about his business inside that square circle. He is a 3-division world champion. He has that crossover appeal. Has he reached the masses yet and reached the casual audience? I can't say for 100% certainty that he has, but the guy is a respectable champion and potentially could be 2 fights away from being undisputed at 135. He holds that WBA and WBO lightweight title with Richard Comey, who was the IBF, lightweight champion, maybe. Likely happening down the line. Depends on which route Top Rank wants to go, whether they want to allow Teofimo Lopez to get that fight, or they want to say, you know what, wait, young lion, let Lomachenko collect this other belt, and then you'll get your shot since you want it so bad. But I wouldn't have any problems with Vasiliy Lomachenko being number one, although I don't personally have him at number one. But I'm not mad at anybody that does have him number one, because he is a great fighter who has just been whipping ass. Simple as that. He's been whipping ass. He either knock you out, outbox you, or make you quit. You know what I'm saying? Ask Guillermo Rigondeaux what he did. He made him quit. After all that shit talking Guillermo Rigondeaux did, this motherfucker went in there and dropped the fucking ball, laid a big egg, and quit after the 6th round. So we'll see. We'll leave that debate for other people. But next up, Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is 35-0 with 26 knockouts. He is a 3-division world champion. 2 years ago, he unified the junior welterweight division when he defeated Julius Ndongo via 3rd round knockout, vicious body shot, to unify all the titles. If you look at his resume, it has no standout names per se, but it's a respectable resume. He has Ricky Burns, a former champion, Yuriorkis Gamboa, a former champion, Raymundo Beltran, a former champion, Tomas Delorme, once highly regarded prospect from Puerto Rico who hasn't quite lived up to expectations as a professional, but he's still a respectable fighter. Dear Jean is a respectable fighter. Henry Lundy is a respectable fighter. Victor Postal, in a fight that a lot of people picked Against Terence Crawford, he completely dominated Postal, dropping him twice, outboxing him, taking his heart, while in the process taking that WBC junior welterweight title. John Molina is a respectable guy. He's a slugger. He's been in the ring with Lucas Matisse, Hank Lundy, Antonio DeMarco, a former champion as well. So he's definitely a respectable fighter. Felix Diaz, a former Olympic gold medalist, respectable fighter again. A lot of people felt he beat Lamont Peterson, but was robbed in a fight that took place in in Peterson's hometown. So, Ndongo again was a unified champion, defeated Ricky Burns. Then he defeated Jeff Horn, who defeated Manny Pacquiao for that WBO welterweight title. And then his most recent two fights, Jose Benavidez, a guy that has a wealth of potential, a big welterweight. I think he like 5'10", 5'11". He stopped him in the 12th and final round. And his most recent outing, Amir Khan, ended in some controversy because a lot of people felt that Amir Khan, quit. Yeah, he took a good nut shot, one that probably he should have took all 5 minutes for. But he knew the outcome of this fight. It was not going his way, and there was no need for him to continue to take any further punishment, especially if he wants to continue his career and get back to this championship level. But now, let's talk about Crawford a little more. He, like Vasiliy Lomachenko, is promoted by Top Rank. He is a guy that's a switch hitter. He can box. He can punch. Like I said, he's traveled across the world to win his first championship when he went to Scotland to take that strap off of Ricky Burns back in 2014. He took that the WBO belt off of him, that lightweight belt. Easy. Outboxed him, outworked him, just dominated that fight from beginning to end. So he has that road warrior mentality. He has that crossover appeal. He has that superstar, trait that you want in fighters. And he has the confidence. He exudes confidence. He has a tremendous amount of belief in his skill set. And he's just a guy that you love to watch fight in and fight out. Has he 100% crossed over to the casual audience? Not necessarily, but I think he's further along than Vasiliy Lomachenko is. But at 31 years old, he's in his prime. He has a good 4 to 5, 6 years left. And, the sky's is the limit for him. He is my current pound for pound #1 guy. But that could change by the end of this video. But Terence Crawford has a great argument as to why he should be #1 pound for pound. Like I said, 3-division world champion. Unified a division, something Vasiliy Lomachenko hasn't done. As well as Canelo Alvarez. So he's the only undisputed champion in this crop of guys that I'm talking about in this video that, can stake to that claim. Now, last but not least, Canelo Alvarez, Saul Alvarez, 52-1 with 2 draws, 35 knockouts. Tremendous fighter. He's a 3-division world champion. His resume is by far the best out of these guys that's been mentioned, Vasiliy Lomachenko and Terence Crawford. I mean, we had to go all the way back. He first won his first world title back in 2011 when he defeated Ricky Hatton's little brother, Matthew Hatton, via unanimous decision. He won that vacant World Boxing Council junior middleweight title, the WBC. He followed it up with wins over Ryan Rhodes, a respectable UK contender. Also, Alfonso Gomez from the Contender. Kermit Cintron, a power puncher who's been in the ring with Antonio Margarito, Paul Williams, Sergio Martinez. The list goes on and on. He's a former champion as well. Shane Mosley, a future Hall of Famer. He defeated him. Then he fought Josecito Lopez, a guy who's been in the ring with Victor Ortiz, Marcos Maidana, Keith Thurman, and a list of other, upper echelon fighters. Then in 2013, he fought Austin Trout in the unification bout and won that via unanimous decision. But that was a much closer fight than the judges indicated with that open scoring bullshit. I felt that Austin Trout won that fight even with being knocked down, but it wasn't a robbery by any means necessary. Then he took the biggest step the biggest step up of his career when he fought Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. back in September of 2013, where he lost by majority decision. It should have been a unanimous decision loss for him because he was dominated in that fight from beginning to end. But that is the fight, I believe, that was the turning point for Canelo Alvarez. And each of his fights that were either close or he faced some adversity and didn't look the best, it never deterred him. It never, took his confidence away. He always remained confident, and he kept, improving, adding things to his game each and every fight. And it has shown up until this point to where he's at now, holding 3 of the 4 middleweight titles today. And after that fight, his first career loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr., he bounced back with a dominant TKO victory over Alfredo Angulo, his fellow Mexican compadre. And then that, he took another step up. Erislandy Lara in 2014, a fight that was razor close. He won that by a split decision, a fight that a lot of people felt he lost. But again, he brought the fight to Lara, who elected to, move and be on his bicycle a lot more than what you would, want him to be. But, he did what he had to do, and the judges felt that his aggression, his body punching, and his, effort to make the fight is what swayed them. After that, he followed it up with hard-hitting Austin, Texas native James Kirkland, obliterated him in 3 rounds, knocked him out cold. Knockout of the year, I believe it was, in 2015. And then he followed up with a unanimous decision victory over Miguel Cotto, a future Hall of Famer, a multi-weight champion. And then after that, Amir Khan, a multi-weight champion, maybe a Hall of Famer, I don't know. And then he followed it up with a victory over Liam Smith to take his WBO junior middleweight title. And then wins over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a draw with Gennady Golovkin. In a lot of people's opinion, he lost that first fight. I don't think he lost that first fight. I might be in a minority, but I don't think he lost that first fight. I mean, I don't think if you gave it to GGG, it would have been a robbery for him. But I just think that it was a closer competitive fight than most people. And then in the rematch, he won a clear, in my opinion. He elected to stand and trade after electing to move and box in the first go-round. Gennady Golovkin called him out on that. And, he said, all right, I was born ready. What he said at the weigh-in or the weigh-in for Floyd Mayweather Jr. when they asked him, was he ready? He said, I was born ready. He won the majority decision, giving Gennady Golovkin his first career defeat. And then, he moved up to 168, defeated Rocky Fielding for the WBA super middleweight secondary title. Some reports out there is secondary or whatever, but it's obviously secondary because Callum Smith is the super champion in the WBA at 168. And then most recently, he won a close unanimous decision over Daniel Jacobs in a fight that was competitive, but Canelo Alvarez clearly won that fight. So he has the boxing record, accomplishments, and resume to back up his claim to be the #1 pound-for-pound guy in the sport. He also has that crossover appeal. He is a guy that all casual fans know. Casual fans know him for whatever reason, whether it's his fights with Gennady Golovkin, his fight with Floyd Mayweather, some of his commercials he's done, the Tecate commercials. He's a crossover star. He's a superstar. Not only that, he's the cash cow in the sport. He's the big money man. DAZN didn't give him $300+ million for a reason. This guy puts asses in seats, and it's reported that he sold out, the T-Mobile Arena this past weekend, him and Daniel Jacobs. 20,000 asses was in those seats cheering on Canelo Alvarez, Cinco de Mayo weekend. So, I mean, he, in my opinion, is the #1 pound-for-pound guy. I mean, if you ask me, I'll rank it like this. Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford, Vasiliy Lomachenko, Alexander Usyk, or you can swap Alexander Usyk and Vasiliy Lomachenko. But yes, the new #1 pound-for-pound guy, in my opinion, is Canelo Alvarez. And you got to take into everything into consideration. Yes, he's not an undisputed champion, but that could happen in September. He is a great fighter. He's a Hall of Famer. Let's just put that down. He's a Hall of Famer. On his way to being an all-time great. He has the skills, man. He can punch. He can box. He has improved his foot movement tremendously. He's hard to hit. He has a great chin. You know, he can box. He can bang. Like I said, he has that crossover appeal. He has the resume. Yes, he got the cloud over his head with the clenbuterol, which is unfortunate for him. But that's a decision he made when he elected to ingest that. Or, you know, it could have been from the contaminated meat. However they want to spin it, and however you want to take the spin job and believe whichever. That is something that puts an asterisk. You know, at least for the first fight with Gennady Golovkin in the minds of people. Because up until that, you know, nobody associated PEDs with Canelo Alvarez and his name. But now, you know, that's going to always be over there because people going to say, well, was he on it for the Laura fight? Was the Trout for the Trout fight? Was he on it for the Cotto fight? You know what I'm saying? Even though he's never failed a drug test, but we know how things can shake. But post, you know, Golovkin too, and Daniel Jacobs, he's been tested strangely, and hasn't, you know, come up positive for anything. So he is my new pound for pound #1 guy in the sport. He's a great fighter, all-time great fighter, future Hall of Famer, and shit, he's only 28 years old. 28 years old, man. 28 years old. So we'll see. He got a handful of years left in the sport of boxing to even further enhance his resume and enhance his legacy and, you know, lock it down, man. So, hey, those are my thoughts, man. If you like this video, go ahead and do what I told you to do in the beginning. Shout out to the movement and everybody that is moving with us. Be sure to check out 3kingsboxing.com for your latest and greatest updated, unfiltered, and unbiased boxing news and information reported the way it should be. Until next time, I am out. Peace.